Hello! Today I'd like to talk about Witcher 4 and what lessons we can draw from previous games in the series. Specifically the alchemy system, investigations, and how to reward player preparation. In the game series, witches are humans who've been forcibly mutated in order to help them fight supernatural monsters. They're faster, stronger, and live longer than normal humans. But for particularly difficult monsters, a witcher might also drink potions that give them advantages. Underground monsters might call for a dark vision potion that frees up both hands to hold the blade. They might drink a potion to poison vampires that bite them. They might apply oils to their blades to cause extra damage to different types of monsters. The point is to obtain an advantage in the upcoming fight. But witches can't just drink away. These potions are poisonous, even for mutants like witches, and there's a limit to how many they can take. Too many and the witcher will start to die of poisoning. Potions are a double-edged tool, and the player is supposed to be selective about which ones they use. In the lore, witches will prepare before facing monsters. That will include investigating clues to identify the type of monster they're hunting, researching their bestiary for any known weaknesses, acquiring materials or items that might help them, then finally prepare by drinking potions and applying oils before facing the enemy. In The Witcher 3, the player will use Witcher Vision to highlight clues, and as Geralt clicks on these clues, he'll talk to himself and the player about his new conclusions. The problem is that investigations are expositional, and Geralt will always give the right answer. Players are not involved other than using Witcher Vision and following brightly highlighted clues. You can basically turn off your brain because you can't fail an investigation. The potions and oils you have can be upgraded, but because of the rare ingredients, like troll livers, that you need for upgrades, there's very little choice to be made about the potions or oils to be used. You'll simply use the highest level potions and oils that you have at the moment. On top of that, in The Witcher 3 you can take potions and apply oils whenever you want, including during combat. In effect, preparation like in the lore is simply not necessary or even helpful. But making a few changes to the way investigations and alchemy works would significantly enhance player choice. An easy change would be to make potions more lore accurate. Witcher 2 had something like that in that you had to take potions before combat, so you had to have thought about what you were likely to face. But on the other hand, the potions lasted a lot longer, typically for an hour in real time. In The Witcher 3, decoctions still work in this way, and they're very useful. Potions were also the only way to get many beneficial effects like healing, so it was actually important to think about the potion system and gathering materials as you explored. One strange thing about Witcher 3 is that you can make use of food and drink to heal, even during combat, which makes the healing potions a bit redundant. I actually found that eating raw meat and drinking water was the superior way to heal, just because you typically end up with hundreds of bits of meat and water. On the other hand, potions are limited in use, so even if they heal you a bit more, you end up wanting to save them for when you really need them. Because of this, and potions only lasting a few minutes, I rarely used potions in Witcher 3, even when playing on Death March when I had a lot of perks to buff potions. I had to force myself to use all those potions that I've been upgrading through the game. But in contrast, I was constantly using decoctions and oils because they last longer. Mixing the way Witcher 2 and Witcher 3 do potions would go a long way to making them an important part of gameplay again. Retain the potion tiers that Witcher 3 has, but allow players to have as many of them as they want, like in Witcher 2. Low level potions might require commonly found ingredients, while high level potions might require rare ingredients that you have to actually go searching for. That way Geralt could be generous about using low level potions all the time, thus making the potion system relevant again, but he might reserve higher level potions for special or unique monsters. You could also link investigations into this new potion system. Let's say you're hunting an ancient vampire with unique powers. For a common vampire, you might not bother trying to find the materials to create special potions. But for an ancient vampire, it might be worth your while to seek out special potions to counter their special powers. If it was possible to miss clues while investigating or come to the wrong conclusion, then the player would be much more involved in analyzing the clues that they find. Maybe as part of a contract, they choose to seek out experts to confirm their findings and double check the bestiary to make sure that they have the right information. Then based on these clues and research, the player might decide what kinds of preparation are required to deal with the monster he's hunting. Maybe he'll even have to quest for special ingredients. Making investigations more important and tying them into a tiered potion system would make contracts more than just go here, use Witcher sensors, find monster lair, and kill monster sequences that they are at the moment. Something similar to, but maybe on a smaller scale to the investigations that Geralt does as part of the Hearts of Stone DLC would be great. In The Witcher 3, the potion and investigation system does not reward player analysis and preparation. Investigations always succeed, and you can take whatever potions you like whenever you like. There's no need for the player to prepare. However, if changes were made to require potions to be taken before combat, for investigations to reward player initiative and thinking, and maybe even have optional subquests to find special materials to use against unique enemies, that would give much more depth to hunting monsters and doing Witcher contracts than they have at the moment. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. See you soon.